Hey guys, Otto from Everything Amiibo here with a huge load of amazing Nintendo news.
Hello and welcome to
Everything.
Amiibo.
So this morning I woke up and found an article about Nintendo making a partnership with a mobile company. It's like, wow, and not only that, it said in it that Nintendo, get this, would be licensing all of its IPs to the mobile people to try out whatever and to make apps, yes, a Nintendo service like Nintendo Network ID but better, and games. I kid you not. They're going to be Nintendo IP, Nintendo mobile games. It's crazy. I mean, it should have happened ages ago. The other companies have been doing it for ages, but this is huge news, and I think Nintendo's going to do it in their special Nintendo way, which could be really fun. I don't know. You could also do it in their really bad, like, Nintendo way. But anyway, let's take a look at some stuff here. So, here's our first diagram. So we've got on the right side, Iwata was talking about dedicated consoles over here, e.g. 3DS, Wii U, and we'll get to this mysterious thing at the bottom in a second. And on the left here is the other peripherals used for sort of supporting Nintendo stuff, which they've been doing with the PC for a long time, with stuff like Club Nintendo, the Nintendo UK and US and all the other sites, Nintendo UK Online Store. Even though it's a store, it still interacts with the world of Nintendo and encourages you to go on your other stuff. But yeah, and Miiverse and stuff. They've been doing that pretty well. But they barely touched mobile and tablet over here. And that is sort of the idea of this partnership. I think 50% of it is to get mobile apps and games and stuff, and 50% is to help them with networks, whatever you want to call that. The whole ID system and stuff. Because they very much stress that this is a company who's very good at handling large amounts of data, and they're good with systems and stuff, and also mobile apps. So I think these guys are really going to help Nintendo fix out their stupid Nintendo Network ID problem. Maybe their matchmaking systems, who knows. So that is huge, huge news. Like I said, they get to use any Nintendo IPs to experiment. Obviously, they need the big okay from Nintendo to they can't just throw out a Metroid game that they made and not ask, but they can experiment with anything and potentially could have games for any Nintendo IP, which is pretty darned crazy. So then I look away, go get ready for school a bit more. I'm actually not going until much later. I'm doing this in the morning. That's why I look a bit not so great. But I come back, and what do you know? At the bottom here is this dedicated, if you look, oh, why is this not clicking? There we go. If you look at this little tile, dedicated game system, NX. Yeah, that's the new Nintendo system. They've announced it. It's not exactly very exciting, except for two very important things, which they kind of, I'm sure they realized they were leaking these things, but they didn't make it explicit. First thing that we can sort of glean from this is that it is a dedicated game system. Dedicated game system. And that, in my opinion, is the reason they actually announced it in this, because it has nothing to do with mobile. But that's why they wanted to announce it. They didn't want to confuse people so that people thought, oh, it's the Nintendo phone. People are they're making the Nintendo phone, or they've given up on, or like they're just going to stretch out the Wii U and 3DS lifetime and support them with phones until they die, or just port all their games to phones and stop. No. This is the new wrong way system down here. So close. The Nintendo NX. So yeah, it is going to be a real, like, game system. The second thing is that it's only one. It's one game system. And considering it's probably not going to be known about at all anymore, maybe this year, but probably not until next year, 2016, they didn't really need to announce this, and if they were just announcing it just to talk about it and say that it exists, then in my opinion, they would announce two. They would announce the home console and the portable console, because it's all just in the air. You know, this is coming at some point in the future, so why not announce both? But maybe there isn't two. That's my theory, and a lot of people are seeming to think that. It's like also like the 3DS, then the Wii U, then NX. It's like they combine and it's NX. So my guess is this is going to be a hybrid console where it's basically like a 3DS, where it's completely portable, probably with one screen this time, but it is as powerful, hopefully more powerful than a Wii U, and you can just hook it up to your TV and play it like an actual console. Maybe even hook it up, sit it there, pick up your Pro Controller, and go crazy. Who knows? But yeah, that's really exciting. Another clue is in the NX name. People are trying to figure out what that means. Somebody said Nintendo cross-platform, because in Japan, X generally means in video games and titles, X generally means cross, not X. So, and cross stands for like a crossover game, not X normally. So you would pronounce that cross. Not in this case probably, but it's just a little clue. So you could say Nintendo cross-platform. You could say next generation. I don't know. Nintendo Extreme. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's it for that presentation. But man, that's crazy news. Next is last. Not directly Nintendo related, but very much related to my channel, is the potential for Lego going into the sort of Amiibo, what do you call it, NFC business. So they could be making their own Amiibo type game, Skylanders type game, where you get Lego figures and you scan them in. Nobody's quite sure how that works, and for now it's actually just a rumor, unfortunately. That's because somebody interviewed them about it, and they said maybe, and then something else happened. Let me check. I should not be reporting this with so little sureness. Oh yeah, a leak. That's right. There was also a leak from a supposed employee who said that they're going into. So it's very much possible, and it does seem quite plausible. And that would be very exciting for me, as I'm a pretty big fan of Lego, and especially Bionicle. This is what I want in this. This is one I made myself not too long ago, actually. I haven't touched my Bionicles for a long time. I just joined this Bionicle Facebook group, and they were all making this stuff, and I was like, ooh. So I made one, and it was really fun. But yeah, I would totally buy Bionicles that were like on Amiibo stands for a game, because there were quite a couple Bionicle video games. I think I got every single one, but nobody else got them. Nobody bought them. So I'd love for there to be a successful Bionicle game, and maybe bring that IP for the new generation, because Bionicle's back, but it's not got too much hype. Well, anyway, speaking of hype, Nintendo signed a freaking contract with a mobile company. Can you believe it? It's incredible. Yeah, wow. This is all just this morning, and they've announced their next game system, NX. Mental stuff. Please sound off in the comments below. Tell me what you think. How much of the Lego thing is a rumor? Would you buy all these Nintendo games? Are they just going to be gimmicks? NX, what does it stand for? Let me hear all of your opinions in the comments, and of course I will reply to anything you put there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and subscribe to Everything Amiibo for more Nintendo news like this, and more Nintendo toys and games. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you later.